7 things your vet wished you knew about your dog. Dogs have never been so popular. Yet, as vets know only too well, there are still many myths and misconceptions about our canine buddies. And quite a few of them can unfortunately lead owners down a path that ends up at the vet or the dog behaviourist. So let's debunk a few. Myth number 1. It's okay to leave your dog in a vehicle on a hot day if the windows are down. It's not. For 2 reasons. Cars heat up rapidly, and dogs can't sweat like we do, so they don't regulate their body temperature well. Heat stroke can be fatal very quickly, in a matter of minutes. Myth number 2. My dog knows it's done wrong because it looks guilty. No, that look that as humans we translate as guilt is actually your dog showing what is known as appeasement behaviour. Our dogs are probably better at reading our body language and facial expressions than we are at reading theirs. So, when you spot that accident on the carpet or the chewed up shoe, your dog reads your upset or anger and behaves in a way it would with other dogs to diffuse the situation. Myth number 3. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yes, of course you can. Clearly, what you might want to teach an old and maybe slightly infirm dog will be different from the lively games you might teach a younger dog, but they can still learn. And with positive, reward-based training, will also thoroughly enjoy their time working on new tricks with you. Myth number 4. Dogs see us as their pack leaders. This misconception, debunked by scientists many years ago, can lead owners unwittingly into trying to be their dog's boss, spoiling the relationship they might otherwise have enjoyed and creating rather than improving behavioural problems. Do you really think your dog doesn't know you're not a dog? Myth number 5. You should remove your dog's food periodically during mealtimes. This one belongs with the myth above. For some reason, the pack leader misconception led people to the idea that they should force their dogs to give up their food so they'd know who was in charge. Sadly, this myth can be dangerous. Regularly removing food from dogs as they're eating is far more likely to lead them to think they do have to guard things they value. The best way to prevent what's known as resource guarding or possessive aggression is to learn how to teach your young puppy to be happy to do swaps, so they don't feel the need to guard anything from you. Myth number 6. My dog's too thin. If you think that, quite likely your dog's about right. Just as with humans, there's an obesity epidemic among pet dogs, which many owners don't recognise. Being overweight can lead to health problems, especially as your dog gets older. Myth number 7. It's natural for dogs to be very anxious when visiting the vet. Yet it doesn't have to be. While it's natural for any animal to be nervous of the unknown, especially if they're in pain, we can make the whole experience a great deal less stressful for our dogs, and for the vet, if we spend some time accustoming them as puppies to the sort of handling they'll experience when being examined. This should form part of everyone's puppy training, getting them very comfortable with being handled all over, especially their ears, mouth and paws. And finally, although most dog owners do know how important socialisation is for young puppies, there's much you can't do during a pandemic. So do watch our video on socialising your puppy while social distancing. You'll find a link below.